glorify you, Jesus. Magnify you, Lord. You're worthy of the glory, Lord.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Last week we concluded with the fact that sowing and reaping requires for us to take personal responsibility at the proper time in order to receive the best that God has for us, no matter what's going on around us. And that was putting us in preparation and getting us ready for what we're going to be looking at today, and walks us into the next part of this series of serving God in the kingdom of mammon, which is prayer. And during this part of the series, we're going to explore prayer in a way that I hope will enlighten you, that I hope will bring you more confidence when you pray. Because truth of the matter is that I've had times where I said a prayer, but I really just didn't think nothing was going to change. There's been those times of life that as I experienced those things, it was because I was short on information. Because once I got the information and then started applying it the way that he says to apply it, and began to get my mind lined up with his covenant and his kingdom, then I began to release things out of my mouth, and it actually scared me because the things were changing so fast. And that began to take me on a different route, because as I started to see those things happen and change, at the same time, I was watching other people around me pray over things that I felt were more important than what I was praying about, but they weren't getting results, and things weren't changing for them. And they were continuing to go through pain and hurt and lack and all of those things. And that's when I began to understand that it was a combination of what was I doing with the tangible things in my life, plus what words was I using during my prayer life, because they go hand in hand. And that's where a lot of people are missing the combination. And as we start to look at this and dig it in depth, you'll understand something. But in life, we usually function by one of three ways as we go through the three stages of life. Our three stages of life, as God blesses us to go through them, are infancy, adolescence, and maturity. Anything that's allowed to go through its life cycle will go through those three stages. And anything that you partake of, you'll have to go through those three stages in it. You get a new job. When you first get there, you're an infant. You're going to have to grow up in the job, in the industry, to understand what am I supposed to be doing on this job. You don't know everything when you first get there. Even if you used to be in the same field, when you go in, this company may run it differently. So you need to go in with the mindset of an infant and understand that you need to take in information. After you take in that information and then you begin to understand the system and how it works, then that's when you get into the adolescent stages, and that's where you start to get choices of life. You start to get choices as to which direction and who you are, and you're feeling your way through things, and you're trying to figure out, who am I, what's the best way for me to do this, all these different things. And then after you've identified that, then as you're growing up and you become mature, then you begin to establish patterns that you can reproduce, that other people want to follow that pattern. Now, those are the stages. What I want to talk about today, and as we get into prayer, is I want to talk about one of the three ways that we can function. And this will probably, if I was going to say there's going to be a painful part of this prayer series, it's going to be this part. I'm going to go ahead and get the painful part over best I can. But there's one of three ways that we normally go through these stages. The one way is we work our beliefs. We work our beliefs. The second way, and you'll want to leave some space in between them because I'm going to go back and explain them and show you some scriptures and as we go into it. The second way is we believe in work. And then the third way is we show our beliefs by our works. So the first way is we work our beliefs. Second way is we believe in work. And the third way is we show our beliefs by our works. Now this happens in all three of those stages of life, okay? This happens in that way because as an infant, all you know to do is cry. That's all you know to do is cry. You don't have a language because you were just born. You just got there, and that's one of the things that has always irked me. As when I started new jobs, they trained me on the first day, and then they say, "You got any questions?" I don't know what to ask. I just got here. I need for you to show me what's going on first. Then, after I see how it works, see what goes on, then I may be able to spark something, but I don't know what to ask right now. I don't even know the full system. So at that stage, I'm like, okay, so that's always irked me. And you know, as I started to understand some things in my life, it then started making sense as to why that irked me, because that's my job as an apostle and a pastor, is to establish foundations, give understanding as far as what the direction is supposed to take. So that's who I am. So I'm trying to give you all the information, and then after I give you all the information, then I say, got any questions? So that's why it always bothered me, because that's who I am. As far as my nature and my character is to actually help build you and establish you, show you the direction to take, and go that route. So when I began to understand this about these three different ways of functioning, it started to make a little bit of sense. Because, like I said, as an infant, all you know to do is cry. If you're hungry, cry. If you need your diaper change, cry. If you want to be picked up, cry. That's all you know. That's the only language you have. Now, as we get into becoming adults, some people still have infant mindsets because they have one way that they respond to everything. They start fussing, crying, all of those things. And they even do this with God. And it's in that place that I found out that we're trying to work our beliefs. Because this mindset functions only by grace and waits on God to do everything. You wait on God to do everything. And that's not even sound biblically, okay? And I had to learn that. Have y'all ever seen that white Suburban that I believed God for? Y'all ain't ever seen it because I didn't get it. Because I didn't understand all of the process. I walked around it 7 times. I drove from here to Smyrna